All right, Karen, we ready?
Whenever you're ready, Mayor.
All right, thank you. Good evening, everyone. I'd like to call the meeting of Glassboro's Mayor and Council for August 23rd, 2022 to order. Karen, could you please read the opening statement?
Pursuant to the Open Public Meetings Act, I hereby announce that adequate notice of this meeting, as required by said act, has been provided by adopting a schedule of regular meetings for the year 2022, which schedule was posted on the Borough Hall Bulletin Board as well as the Borough website and forwarded to both the South Jersey Times and the Sentinel of Gloucester County and filed with the Borough Clerk on January 7th, 2022.
Thank you. Can we all rise and salute the flag, please? I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Karen, roll call, please.
Mayor Wallace.
Here.
Mr. D'Alessandro.
Here.
Mr. Fiola.
Here.
Mr. Halter.
Yes.
Ms. Miller.
Here.
Mrs. Spence.
Here.
Mr. Melandro.
Here.
Mr. Scafidi.
Yes.
And Mr. Brunemar.
Here.
Let the record reflect, Mr. Casabona is excused for this evening.
Thank you, Karen. We have a presentation tonight. Our presentee will not be here this evening, but the presentation is for our patrol officer, Michael Bozarth, who will be retiring. The exact date escapes me, but after 20 years of service to the police department, and I would just like to thank him and acknowledge his service to the borough over the last 20 years and thank him. We have no public hearings. I will entertain a motion now to approve the minutes of the regular meeting of July 26, 2022, as well as the closed executive session of July 26, 2022.
Motion to approve. Second.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor state aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries. We have no communication, so I'll move to committee reports and begin with Councilman D'Alessandro.
At this time, Mayor, I have nothing.
Thank you very much, sir. Councilman Fiola.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. I have like to announce a municipal note sale by the borough. Very briefly, municipal note is a debt issued by local government to finance capital expenditures. There was on August 10th, 2022, borough held a note sale for tax-exempt notes in the amount of $8,755,075. The results of the bids, the winning bid was beat to BNY Mellon Capital Markets LLC for 2.732%. I'd also like to report that I'm in receipt of the financial reports supplied to me by Karen Passioni and her assistant Alexis Barton. The various reports giving the budget status for the borough, and those reports are for the month of July 2022. That's all I have. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you very much, sir. Councilman Halter.
Yes, good evening, thank you. Water and Sewer has been experiencing problems obtaining materials and parts, just like most of the rest of us in the world. Budgetary is through the roof for parts as well, but projects are still moving forward as deemed available. Also, we are on hold right now for the DEP lead and galvanized replacements, as we're awaiting some additional guidance from the state. So that right there, everything else has been status quo, and the project continues on the lift station on Park Avenue as well.
Thank you very much, sir. Councilwoman Miller.
Good evening, Mayor.
Good evening.
Just wanted to report that our fall teams are in effect in practice. That's our mini soccer. Midget football, they're practicing. I don't have the opening date for their home game, but that's basically all that I have this evening.
Thank you very much. And Councilwoman Spence.
Thank you, Mayor. I too want to congratulate Patrolman Bozarth for his service. Thank you for that. And I also wanted to mention that the West Jersey Depot is hosting a car meet this Saturday. If anyone would like to stop by or bring your antique vehicle or sports car, whatever you have. And that's from 11 to 4. And that's it.
very much. We have no unfinished business. Karen, can we go over new business, please?
Yes, Mayor, I need authorization to go out to bid for Charles III Drive Phase 2 DOT project, as well as authorization to go out to bid for parking kiosk equipment, parking by phone, and merchant services.
Motion to go out and bid for those items.
I'll second that.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. All those in favor state aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries. Engineers report, please, Mark?
Yes, good evening. For the 94 townhouses at Orr, they're still coordinating with the county, going through the process for a traffic study to verify any improvements for the traffic signals, so that's still on hold. Charles III Drive Phase 1's under construction. They're finishing up the curbing. They're looking to mill and pave in the next week or so. Doing that, there are several locations where they hit irrigation pipes, and they're in the process of replacing those now. We had another meeting this morning with the staff to get that straightened out. That's going there. For your consideration this evening, Charles III Phase 2 was approved by DOT, so we're looking to get authorization about the bid for that. So subject to your approval tonight, we'll get that in the paper and have the bids back for your first meeting in September. Those High Street townhouses, they are ongoing there. We're just the townhouse work. Most of the site improvements are in. With those, Lincoln Housing Project is finally finalizing their water main work. They finally got the parts after waiting 11 months to get it. So that's being just finished this week, and then they have stormwater work to finish. I think some of the county has to be done along the frontage there. Then there'll be base paving and proceeding there. Park Avenue Pump Station, we're going through some changes right now. With that last rain event, we had impact the building, so we're making some modifications. Once we work through those, we'll bring everybody up to speed for that. And ShopRite, their work continues as it's been the last 6 months. So.
Thank you, Mark.
Questions for Mark? Any? Thank you, Mark. At this time, I will turn the meeting over to our Borough Solicitor.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. Tonight, under our consent agenda, we have the following resolutions. 193, providing for the insertion special item of revenue in the budget pursuant to NJSA 48-4-87. Resolution 194, rescinding resolution R18522, providing for the insertion of special item of revenue in the budget pursuant to NJSA 48-4-87, click it or ticket. 195, authorizing refund of tax payment overpayments. 196, authorizing refund of street opening performance guarantee, Reeves Plumbing and Heating LLC. Resolution 197, authorizing agreement for professional services, Borough of Glassboro, Zeller Welslewski, Right to Farm. Resolution 198, agreement for professional services, the Borough, Sickles and Associates, Inc., sanitary sewer flow study, areas east of State Street. Resolution 199, agreement for certain professional services, Borough of Glassboro, Sickles and Associates for Green Acres diversion application outbound survey. Resolution 200, approving updated recreation and open space inventory, Rossi in the Borough of Glassboro. Resolution 201, authorizing refund of tax payment overpayments. There are resolutions this evening on our consent agenda. Also, for the reasons noted on the agenda, council so moves for approval. Roll call vote.
Move to approve.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. Karen, roll call, please.
Mr. D'Alessandro?
Four.
Mr. Fiola?
Four.
Mr. Halter?
Yes.
Ms. Miller?
4.
Mrs. Spence?
Yes.
Motion carries.
With regard to introduction of ordinance this evening, we did have 2 on the agenda, but ordinance 22-19 is being tabled for tonight's purposes. We do, however, going to introduce ordinance 22-18, an ordinance authorizing removal of deed restriction placed upon property known as Block 204, lots 13, 14, 15, 16, also known as 802, 804 Texas Avenue, and a tax map of the Borough of Glassboro. Council so moves for introduction. Roll call vote.
Move for approval.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. Karen, roll call, please.
Mr. D'Alessandro?
Four.
Mr. Fiola?
Four.
Mr. Halter?
Yes.
Ms. Miller?
4.
Mrs. Spence?
Yes.
Motion carries. At this time, I'll entertain a motion to open the meeting up to the public.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor state aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries. The floor is now open to anyone from the public who wishes to come forward and address mayor and council.
And for those in the audience, please note, we do have the rules and regulations. When you do approach, please identify yourselves, name, address, and there is a 5-minute limitation. Thank you.
Good evening,
Good evening.
John Watts, 114 East Avenue, Glassboro. I want to apologize first for not being here at the last month's meeting, to thank those who put the police car out for speed limit on Academy Street to 40, and then after that they put the speed limit out there. I just want to thank you for that, because I did request that and you did it. And now I have a question. Did I hear somebody in the county or the borough or something say something about those lantern flyers? If you see them, give them a call. Had that been published yet?
It's the county.
It's the county?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, because I think I saw somebody in front of my house the other day, and the tree is as dead as if it was December, but it was the wrong tree.
I'm sure you did.
I was out there this morning, and boy, I tell you, they look like they saying we homeboys. You know, it's the section between the railroad track and East Avenue. I think some of you know that. But so, what you're saying, Spence, is to call the county?
Yeah, you can reach out to the county. They have a broader plan to treat like public areas. They don't really go to, individual.
Yeah, they wouldn't come to my home, that's what you're saying.
Yeah, so they won't do like individual residentials, but they have, a plan. They'll enter, if there's a bad infestation, they'll come out and they'll take a look at it, and then they'll put it in their overall plan to treat.
Okay, because somebody years ago said that was part of the railroad, then it was part of the borough, and we don't know what it is. But I was cutting grass this morning, boy, and I tell you, boy, it looked like school was open.
Yeah, they're
You
bad
know,
all over.
and so what you're saying is to contact somebody from that area. Okay, I'll do that.
Yeah, I think there's a number in the county newsletter you can call.
Okay, thank you. At the end, when it's over. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Good evening, Ron
Good
Consalvo,
evening.
5 Devonshire Drive, Glassboro. Good to see you guys after about 2.5 years. I really wish I didn't have to be here tonight, but find it disgraceful that when I tried to leave a message for you, the mayor, 2 weeks ago today, and you, Borough Administrator Ed Melandro, that your voicemail was filled. And I made a complaint, and I went on your website, and there's no way to contact any of you guys except for that stupid form where you fill out and you submit, and they don't even send you a receipt saying they received it. So I find that disgraceful. And then I left you a message, Mayor, on the 10th. Didn't hear back. So is that the plan, to not call back residents when they have a complaint? Because I gotta tell you, I haven't parked on the stones in front of my house for over a year. I did it one day, and your jackbooted thug code enforcement officer rings my doorbell when I'm trying to work from home, conducting a meeting, and then after I'm done, I have this stupid violation. And he rings 5 Devonshire Drive, but he writes it out for 7 Devonshire Drive, so I made the call. And Chris, who withholds his last name when I ask him what his last name is, because I don't want to know who I'm talking to, and quote me the law that I violated. Well, how does a guy come and write me a violation and he can't even quote the law? He doesn't even know what the law says. The law says, and I'm paraphrasing, you can't park in a area that's not designated for parking. Well, I looked up, not on a driveway and not designated for parking. I looked up in the legal dictionary what a designated parking area is. And it's an area that I designate as a landowner or manager, not the borough. Okay, so I've had this issue with you guys for years and years and years and years, and it's ridiculous. I'm being targeted, and I don't like it. I've driven out around the neighborhood, and I haven't gone the other side of Green Tree Road, and I haven't gone this side of Delsey Drive. And I find 25 people that are parking illegally. They don't do anything about it. And you know what? You target me, and you target the townhomes, and I proved it in 2015. We are 6% of the residents in those townhomes over there, and we get 22 to 25% of the parking violations and these stupid things. And it's an outrage. It's like you're telling me how many cars I can have, how many people I can have overnight. It's ridiculous. And I proved it before, and I'll prove it again. And I'm tired of it. I really am. It's like, leave me alone. What do you do? What's the purpose of this? And why won't your employee tell me what his last name is? And then I wrote, Clark Pierpoint wrote me back, and then when I questioned him, he just stopped responding. So is that the plan? If somebody complains, you just don't do anything about it. Is that the plan?
No, that is not the plan.
So why is there no response back?
Mr. Consalvo, I don't want to take any of your time. I just want, when you're done, I'll be happy to respond. But if you have more to say.
But no, it's even worse than that. You target us, and I proved it in 2015, and I'll prove it again. What you do is you wait for all the kids to come home from college, and you write the most violations May, June, July, and August, and then again you pick it up mid-December into January. So basically what you're doing is, you know the kids are coming home from college with an extra car. This body approved those townhomes without garages, with 2 parking places, and then you're gonna write tickets. It's ridiculous. I have the stats from 2015. I'll go do it again. I'll make the public records request, and I'll prove it again. You guys, it's like you have a plan. You have a plan to go after the people in those townhomes and find them. Find them for just trying to live. It's ridiculous. And it's like, it's a way for you guys to finance whatever contracts you want to hand to your friends and your family and the jobs. It's just ridiculous. So I'm done. Now you can answer my question.
Yes, okay. Well, thank you for being here. I'm sorry that this happened to you. First, I want to address the voicemail. Apologize you were not able to get through. We contacted our IT department because that's strange that our mailboxes are full. There was an IT issue that was identified and rectified. Apparently, when you made that call, they were going through that process. So I apologize for that. Excuse me, it should never happen again. With regards to the ordinance, regardless of whatever you've read in a legal document, it's whatever the borough ordinances say. So the borough ordinance says, and I'll paraphrase, that you need to be parked on an approved driveway surface. And of course, not on the street, but that's a whole different subject. And if you are in violation, or anyone is in violation of that ordinance, then the code department, which what Chris did, was doing his job. I happen to pride myself on the employees of the borough and the job that they do. Quite honestly, the code department probably has one of the hardest jobs in this borough because of the residents, the number of residents, and the types of, just the age differences and the students. So they have their hands full. And I pride myself on their work ethic and that they do their jobs well. If you feel that you have been targeted, I apologize for that too, but I can assure you as one that has gotten a notice like that before, myself, that if they happen to be by when you in this particular instance were violating an ordinance in their opinion, then they did their job. If your driveway surface is approved and that's a wrong document, you should not have received that document, then that's for another discussion too. Okay? If you notice that you're finding your code officers are over on that side of town for the purposes of this discussion when the students are away? Well, that is because, sir, when the students are in session, they spend 99.9% of their time along in the areas that are concentrated where the students are, because there's so many code violations going on with parking and livings and parties and trash. And so our code department is not afforded the opportunity to patrol the other areas of the municipality as well as we would like to. They do it, they may not just get around to your development in November as quickly as they would get around to you in May, June, and July. That is the purpose. I'm telling you all of this because I'm sorry that you feel targeted. I can assure you that you are not being targeted. The ordinance that you have been cited for is something that everybody in this room that lives in Glassboro, that's at this dais, all have to deal with. All 21,000 people have to go through this. And that's really all I really can say.
All right, and I know my time is up. I want to make one more comment. I've driven around for 2 weeks.
Right.
And I haven't left, and I've seen at least 25 violations. People do it every day. So they're clearly not being given these, and they're clearly not being dealt with. And I drove here tonight, and I saw at least 8 cars at 6 o'clock, 6:30, parked in the wrong place, and nothing is done about it. So I'm gonna continue to feel targeted when I park there once in over a year, okay? Once in over a year, and the whole parking issue I'll come back and talk to on September 13th, because that's a whole other issue.
Okay.
But 25, at least, and I haven't even gone to the other side of Delsey Drive, and I have pictures, I have all kinds of stuff. I'm not gonna do your job. But if you keep coming into my neighborhood, I'm gonna keep coming here and calling it out.
But you have that right, and we appreciate you coming. Thank you.
Good evening, Mayor Walls and Council. My name is Dean Schneider from 501 Princeton Road South in Glassboro. And I'm here, first of all, I appreciate the opportunity to be here to address you and the council, so thank you for being here. I had written you and the council, I had written you an email and CC'd the council on some issues that I'm having, just some concerns about what's happening in Chestnut Ridge with regard to loud parties and public urination, littering, loitering, loud vehicles, loud music being played after 2 o'clock in the morning. So these things continue to happen. I was one of those people that never called the police about anything in my life, and I've been calling pretty much every weekend about this. I guess I'm of a certain age now, that I just want, when it's time to go to sleep, I want to be able to sleep. So it's just really wild what's happening on Cornell Avenue between Girard and Princeton. So I just wanted to see if there were, see if there was anything that we could do with regard to looking into improved ordinances for loitering, littering, idling while parked, large groups of people being concentrated in areas that they clearly do not live. So, and that's pretty much it. Those are my only concerns.
Thank you. And as a response, your concerns were given to the police department and given to the code department. Both the police department and the code department are aware of the issues, and the police department will offer and will continue to patrol through that area, and whenever possible increase and multiple patrols through that area when they're able to do so, and the code department as well. Now the code department, however, usually will react to, they need calls. Because they need to go out and spot something, as opposed to, like, the police usually can roll out and, you know, there's something, if there's a code issue, you need to let them know. Because the code department does not have the ability, as I told the gentleman earlier, they don't have the numbers to patrol the way that the police department patrols. So call in, and that doesn't mean you don't stop calling the police officers as well. Please feel free to call. We want you to call because we need to know. The only way to fix something is to make us aware of it.
Absolutely.
So we will continue, and we'll continue to work on all your bullet points that you brought up as well.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
I really appreciate that. Thank you, Council.
Yeah, sure.
Can I, if I will, after the meeting, I'll give you my email address. When you see a party, when you know there's a party, let me know. We have, when Rowan's in session, if it's Rowan students, we have weekly meetings with their administration. We've been more successful than we have in the past addressing issues as soon as they happen. So you can just email me that information. If it's Rowan or even if it's our own code enforcement, we'll address it right away.
Okay, with all due respect, I have a recording session at 8 o'clock, and I can't be late for that. Can I look you up online?
My name's
or-
Ed Melandro. You can look me up on the website. My email address is.
I will do that. I greatly appreciate that.
Okay.
Thank you, Council, and
You're
Mr. Mayor.
welcome. Have a good night.
Good evening, Mayor Wallace and
Good evening.
Chairpersons. Tyler Refsnyder of 313 Victoria Street. I'm here in a little bit more of a lighthearted manner. I wanted to open a dialogue with you. I'm a big music guy, and for the past year, I've been hosting charity events at my house. And after talking with Lieutenant Rick Watt, I believe, patrol supervisor downstairs, he recommended reaching out to you. I've been trying to work with him and the code office, I believe the housing enforcement office, and I applied for a block party permit because we've had noise complaints. Obviously, some residents would like their sleep, I understand. And he said that this would be my only option, would be reaching out to you and sort of a special event permit, because we close down at about 9, which is within Glassboro noise within a certain extent, because it's any time of the day, 50 feet, excessive noise disturbing the peace, obviously. And so I wanted to talk to you and all the other people up here about some sort of permit noise event, because my block party permit got denied because I wouldn't be closing down the entire street, but it would be just as rowdy if we did close down the street. Not rowdy to say, but it's a concert, obviously, so there is noise going on. If you have any,
And you wanna have this at your residence?
not
Yeah, when you say a block party, what do you?
so it would be, I guess, in front of the residence, but they denied the request, I suppose.
Who was they?
It's the code enforcement, the ladies over there in the front, I believe.
Okay,
That never came through my office, Mayor.
okay, so,
Okay.
usually, correct me if I'm wrong, Ed, that there is, if you go to either the code officer.
You go to the code office, there has to be a reason why it was denied.
Yeah.
Yeah, so why don't you give us the opportunity to look into that? If
Yeah.
code enforcement denies it, mayor and council
I'm
can't.
not even sure, sorry to
overrule
cut
it.
you off, I'm not even sure if they processed it, like, the ladies looked at it and was like, you're not gonna get it, and so that was kind of my,
What building did you bring it to, this building, or did you bring it to code enforcement?
I had originally talked to the police reception desk downstairs, and then
Okay.
they sent me across the parking lot.
Right, to
to
code
the-
enforcement.
Yeah, and then they printed out the form for me, and I filled it back out and came
Yep.
the next day, and then they looked
Is
at
your
it.
name on it, Tyler?
Yes, it should be.
Okay, let me look into it.
Sounds like it.
Yep. Sounds
Whatever
like
you, whatever your
Yeah.
ask was, they were like, you know you're not gonna
and
get it.
when I
Right.
talked to officers, they said that that would be my only play to
Right.
be allowed to make noise for a certain amount of time,
Right.
and didn't even get put through, I suppose.
And I'm willing to bet that the ordinance is stating that you can't make noise after a certain time, and that's probably the reason why you were denied, but I will look into it.
Thank
We
you very much.
certainly
as
will
well.
look into it, absolutely.
Great. Hope you guys have a great evening.
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah.
Just out of curiosity, was this a one-time request, or do you intend to have multiple concerts?
I had put in an application for one time, and then I talked to them about it, and I'm like scheduled already, so I have it planned out. So it would be like, I think it's once a month, I think, give or take.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, we're just raising money with concerts and donations. So
Mhm.
thank you very much.
Nice, thank you.
Seeing no other members of the public, I make a motion to close the public portion.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor state aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries. Excuse me. I will now entertain a motion to approve all duly authorized bills.
Move that all duly authorized bills be paid.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor state aye.
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 Opposed?
I have
Abstentions?
some abstentions, Mayor, 22-03157, 02708, 03121, 03140, and 03216. Everything else good there.
Any other abstentions? Those have been noted. Motion still carries. Any closing comments?
The only comment I have, Mayor, is tonight, before the meeting, our auditors who are new this year, Bowman and Company, gave the audit results to Mayor and Council. And someone who's been through a lot of audits in a different career, it's not a pleasurable thing. And I just want to commend Karen Passione, all of the department heads. We had an audit report that's 138 pages long, and we did not have one deficiency. So Karen, you and your team and all the department heads, that's unheard of. So I just didn't want that to go without being on the record, Mayor. What a fine job that the employees did.
Thank you very much. And I would like to say the same. Thank you very much. It's just really nice to know that your hard work, that we're doing the right thing, and we have a department and staff that put together a very favorable document. And again, Karen, thank you and your staff very, very much. Keep up the great work. And I'd also like to thank everyone that came in tonight. I continue to encourage you to come in, voice your concerns. Thank you all. And with that, I'll entertain a motion for adjournment.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor state aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries. Meeting is now adjourned. Our next regular meeting is scheduled for September 13th, 2022, 6 p.m. Have a great evening, everyone. Yeah, I'm interested. Yeah, it wasn't going through that. But I don't Yeah. Right. Yeah. Right. Look at this guy. Look at this guy.
Play pickleball.